I have it up.
Man, it would help if I unmuted my microphone, wouldn't it? Um, again, welcome into tonight's episode of Curse of Strahd. I know it's been a couple of weeks and we're not all here, but we're as here as possible. Unfortunately, Nevin did have a family emergency, so we're going to play without him. Also, here's hoping that my microphone sounds better than it did last session, because I was watching back the video on demand and my microphone sounded like crap. So, last session, the party met the Burgomaster at the end of the previous session, and this past session finally got to have a conversation with him. Once he suggested the party could possibly want to feed upon Mary, which caught everyone off guard, everyone was very quickly on edge. After a successful vibe check from Ajani, it was confirmed that the Burgomaster's wording was accurate and that something about him was off. Ajani made another vibe check on the way to the mansion, but this time it was a whole-ass vibe check using Detect Good and Evil, and it was able to determine that the Burgomaster was indeed undead. Unfortunately, Alaric failed her klutz check, wallowing in the mud. Brendan and Hadrian turned to check on her, but neither of them made their perception check, so they didn't see the Burgomaster turn into a very well-dressed, young, attractive, and sinister man just before he turned into mist and disappeared into the fog. Upon looking up, they saw that they were right in front of the Burgomaster's mansion. Hadrian immediately knew what the creature was, one of the cloud people of Cancun, who happened to be wintering in Barovia. As Brendan and Ajani walked the grounds around the mansion, they saw scores of wolf paw prints and human footprints trampling down the weeds and plants around the house. This just further pointed to Hadrian that he was right. Alaric, however, doing their best Peeping Tom impersonation, was leering in the windows of the mansion, trying to see what they could see. At this point, a woman yelled at Alaric, asking what they were doing at their house. And this is when the party met Irina Kolyani, who Ajani knew was the afflicted woman from the letter they were sent. After explaining that her father had been dead for weeks, and that he was killed by the land's ruler, Count Strahd von Zarevich, she asked the party to retrieve her brother from the local tavern and to help them bury her father. Only after the burial would she be willing to help the party. Hadrian quickly informed the party that if you rearrange Strahd von Zarevich, you get IR Zasvich, and that Zasvich is draconic for Sasquatch. So he was announcing that he is, in fact, Bigfoot, and that there's 8 letters left. 8 divided by 2 is 4. There are 4 people in the party, which means Sasquatch was calling them out. Brendan and Hadrian quickly determined that they must stop Bigfoot to avenge the innocent maidens that once lived in Barovia. The party makes their way to the Blood on the Vine Tavern to acquire Irina's brother Ismark Kolyani. Brendan stays outside for a few minutes to fix the tavern sign, and upon working on the sign, he sees that the original name of the tavern is Blood of the Vine, but someone had scratched out the F and carved an N. Inside the tavern is a bartender who's just mindlessly cleaning glasses constantly. 3 women sitting by themselves, and an oddly friendly man mentioning to them. Upon sitting down, the man introduces himself as Ismark, who informs him that the letter they have is A, not written in his father's handwriting, and B, his father doesn't have servants. After several hours of partying with Ismark and some casting to make sure that nobody was drunk, they get back to the mansion for an ass chewing from Irina. The party sets up their tower defense game with Hadrian and Alaric upstairs, and Ajani, Ismark, Irina, and Brendan downstairs. They make some holy water, do some spells, and get ready. And I can already tell that this party is totally going to use Heroes Feast if they get it, because the longest part of the session was prepping for the coming fight. Alaric let loose the first attack of the campaign, and the battle was on. Ajani cast his spiritual weapon, but noticed that the visual of his weapon is not as expected, as the cursed land changed what his weapon looked like. The horde continues coming closer to the house as Brendan summons the strength of his god to his side. Irina and Ismark are ready to fuck shit up, and it's at this point that Hadrian finally comes face to face with his nemesis, Bigfoot. Well, Strahd, but still. Hadrian fires a, quote, wet, flaming, enraged shovel handle at Strahd Squatch, hitting him straight in the chest, but just missing his heart. The fight continues on as the horde hits the house. Ajani unleashes a weapon of mass destruction in the form of Moonbeam, dropping 6 of the 10 werewolves and 36 of the 39 zombies that made it to the house. Hadrian and Alaric deal with the rats upstairs while Brendan, Ajani, Irina, and Ismark pick off the remaining baddies. And as the fight winds down, Strahd laughs, remarking that this won't be nearly as easy as he had previously thought. And that's where we will pick up tonight.
Yeah, so the headline could be the put them by.
So, what does everybody like to do? You just finished the fight. Hadrian comes running downstairs to Brendan and Ajani. He says, "Look, I told you. Did you see it? It was a Sasquatch. I hit him, and he just pulled my arrow right from his chest."
I just nod. Yep.
I'm going
Brendan's
to be
gonna go
as
see it.
Hadrian as I can, just FYI.
Understood. Brendan's going to go see if we've got any wounded. He's got lay on hands. He can pick people back up if they need it.
Okay. Aside from a couple rat bites, the party seems to have come through that fight relatively unscathed. Primarily thanks to the nuclear bomb that was dropped on the door by Ajani, because there was no way I was planning for that, especially dropping 36 of 39 zombies. So yeah. But yeah, up Alaric and Hadrian have some scratches and a couple rat bites, but they seem to be, it's scratches. Everybody seems to be unscathed.
Just to be on the safe side, Brendan will spend like 3 points of his lay on hands to heal up the rat bites.
Okay. That brings everybody to, that brings everybody back up to full health. So, all right.
I've
So
also walked downstairs. I followed, shaking my head with the Sasquatch comment. Just walk downstairs.
you saw it. You saw it. You were up there with me. You saw. I hit him with my wet flaming arrow, and he just shook it off and then laughed at us. That is 100% what a Bigfoot would do.
I did hear the laughter.
Exactly.
I definitely heard laughter.
Exactly.
Ajani, good use of a spell. Took out a lot of incoming. Nice work.
Appreciate it. Been working on that one.
Irina and Ismark come over and they're, well, that was single-handedly the easiest night we've had in a very long time. Are you sure you don't want to move to Barovia?
I understand it's supposed to be lovely this time of year, but given the infestation of Bigfoot, I think I'll pass on moving here full time. I will, however, be willing to lend my spear at helping you clean up the neighborhood.
Hadrian leans over to Brendan and goes, it is lovely this time of year. That's why the cloud people from Cancun come to visit.
Unfortunately, the cloud people brought their clouds with them, which is why it's so dank and dismal outside.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. He starts scribbling in his notebook. All right, so Irina turns to the four of you and goes, you have done as I have asked tonight. In just a couple of hours, we must make our way to the church for the burial of my father. We should try to get some rest as the sun is starting to come up, and this is a lull in the evening. And
Brendan's on adrenaline surge and on a point of exhaustion. So once I make sure everybody's healed and all that, I'm fighting to hold back the yawns.
Okay. And Irina makes her way up. She goes to the room that Hadrian and Alaric were, holed up in. And you hear her yell from upstairs, why is there water all over my bed? Which is where Hadrian was standing as he just smeared holy water all over his shovel handle. Ismark grabs a bottle of a brownish liquid, pulls the cork off, takes a big swig of it, and says, with that, I will return to my room as well. And he goes upstairs, and you hear a door close. And yeah, you look around, there's a pretty good sized couch in the living room. There's a couple other rooms. You find one that was clearly the master bedroom. This appears to be where the Burgomaster slept. But yeah, there are rooms to take a couple-hour nap. So.
If I can squeeze in a long rest, I will. But Brendan's going to find a room on the ground floor. It doesn't necessarily need to be the greatest bedroom. Just needs to have someplace to lay his body down and just boom, out.
Yeah, from an RP standpoint, it's just a couple of hours. But from a from a D&D standpoint, you all get a long rest.
Oh, thank God.
Those of you who had points of exhaustion, the long rest clears the 1 point of exhaustion that you have. And yeah, the day breaks, essentially. The sun comes up, but just like the previous day, it's not nearly as bright as it should be. You wake up to the smell of meats being fried, as Irina is already up and preparing a breakfast. There is coffee, there is meat, there's bread. It's a little on the stale side, but there's plenty to she made gravy as well, so you get the drippings from the meat and the coffee and the gravy to soften the bread, but
Brendan's just going to make himself a gigantic fried meat sandwich.
okay.
And wash it down with the biggest mug they have of just coffee.
Okay, so they've got, you ask for the biggest mug, and Ismark brings you over what is basically a small beer stein. But it's, they've spent a lot of time only sleeping a couple hours a night. So there's a lot of coffee that's been made.
Brendan approves, +10.
And the smell of coffee wakes me up, and I saunter in and also ask for a sizable cup, but also ask Mark if he could put a little bit of that brown liquid in that cup to get me going, because I don't want meat, but I would like some alcohol to start my day, and ask if Irina needs any help with anything, or if she's got it all covered.
Okay, so Ismark is very quick to pour some brown alcohol into your mug of coffee to help you get your day started on the right foot.
Much obliged.
Brendan feels a little bit ashamed that Alaric had to remind him of his manners, and then asked if there's anything he could do to help clean up or help with preparation or anything like that.
Yeah, and Irina she's very, very happy to have the help. It's very clear that helping is not something it's not Ismark's forte. He kills, he eats, he drinks, and then he rinses and repeats. So yeah, she's definitely more than happy to have the help. Hadrian makes his way down, and the entire time he's scribbling in his notebook, convinced that you guys survived a fight with Sasquatch the night before. He's like, guys, do you understand that nobody has ever survived a fight with Bigfoot before? And we did. That's amazing. You just don't even understand. And he's walking around just mumbling to himself and writing in his notebook.
And I get a plate of some meat
Mhm.
and some bread and a little bit of coffee, and I kind of push it in front of him. So he's taking care of it. He's actually eating and getting nourishment whilst he's writing, because although he's a little odd, we worry about him. So making sure he's fed there.
So
he doesn't forget that.
he doesn't notice who puts the food in front of him, but he just immediately starts eating, and he's just the entire time just Bigfoot. I mean, it's just thought of Sasquatch. Might be the cloud people from Cancun. Not quite sure, and he's just rambling and mumbling the entire time. You're fairly certain that you think he said something about it being odd how round the area is, but you're not 100% certain what he's talking about. But you just hear that, like there's just mumbling as he's writing down in his book.
And I nod over to a Johnny and sort of look and say, "Hey, so what about you, bruh?"
Yeah, I was doing quite a bit of meditating just because I was trying to figure out what spells I wanted to fake. But in game, I was just sitting in the corner praying. I'm a street rat, so I can survive off of little food. So I'll just grab a piece of bread and be on my way.
Okay. All right. So after breakfast, everybody's eaten. The dishes are done. Everything's cleaned up. Hadrian puts his book away and just looks around and goes, "Well, what are we going to do now?" And Irina says, "Now is the time we take my father to the church for his burial."
And I look around to see if we're going to be doing this pallbearer style, or like if there's a cart with a wheel, or because he's in a. I look and see. If I remember, he was in a coffin.
Correct.
Or a box? Okay.
He's in what?
So I
It's a crudely made coffin.
um so I ask if there's a cart or how she would like us to
Well, we have a hand
move.
cart that we can use. We do have a cart and buggy, but unfortunately, the donkey has been killed. So we will put him on the wheels we have and truck him to the church in the most dignified manner that we can for my father.
So I ask if there's potentially a black sheet or tarp, something to cover.
We have a lid
Um,
for the coffin. We will
okay.
put the lid on.
Okay.
Brendan is a vengeance paladin sworn to the god of death, so he's pretty familiar with funerary rites.
Okay.
So he's willing to just kind of let this whole thing ride for the time being, letting the children of the deceased kind of take the lead on this.
Okay.
But if they want somebody to come up and say some words and all that before they put him in the ground or put him into the fires, Brendan will volunteer to do that.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you head out. Pull the map up. So you are currently here, all the way down as far south in town as you can be, and the church is all the way up here. So as far north as you, kind of northwest. It's not a treacherous walk. I mean, it's a walk. It's, quarter of a mile maybe, not far at all. But as you're making your way to the church, you know what? All three of you, give me perception checks, and I'll roll for Hadrian. And just remember, you are no longer exhausted. So. All right. I don't know why that's not showing up in on screen, but Brendan rolled a 13, Hadrian an 18, Alaric an 8, and Ajani a 23. So everybody except Alaric, you notice that you notice curtains being drawn, and you see people looking out their window. Ajani, especially, you see like a sadness in the eyes of the people that you can see. There are several houses where curtains aren't opened at all. But the ones that do open, there's definitely a feeling of sadness coming from the people in the village of Barovia, as they watch essentially the leader of their town, the funeral procession for the Burgomaster. No one comes outside. Everybody stays in. You get the feeling that many of the houses are probably boarded up similar to how Mary's was. So nobody comes out, but they watch as you make your way through the town.
So there's definitely a sense that he was well liked and well known.
Yeah, you get that feeling just from the sadness that you see.
Yeah. Quite sad.
All right, so you make it up to the church. Like I said, it was about a quarter mile to get there. Pull up the church. All right, so I'm just getting everybody on the board. All right, so you're at the church. You hear screaming, but you're not 100% certain where it's coming from. It's very clear that it's coming from the vicinity of the church, but specifically where is a question at the moment. Irina and Ismark go into the church. Do you follow?
I mean,
Why
not? I mean, I have no reason not to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stay with the body, if at all possible.
Yeah, is the
But,
body going into the church?
Yes, the body is going into the church.
Then I'm going into the church alongside the body.
Okay. All right, so
just in case the corpse decides to get frisky.
All right, so the 6 of you have made your way into the church. You look around, and it's a stone church. It's obviously weathered the assaults of evil for a very long time. It is worn and weary. The bell tower in the back, light shone through the holes in the shingled roof. Inside the church, the rafters strain against the load. The doors of the church open to reveal a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hallway leading to a brightly lit chapel. The hall is unlit and reeks of mildew. 4 doors, 2 on each side of the hall, lead to adjacent chambers. You can see from your vantage point entering the church that the chapel is strewn with debris, and you hear a soft voice in the distance reciting a prayer. But you consistently hear an inhuman scream rising from beneath the wooden floor.
Well, Brendan's a little on edge, but he's still staying with the body. He has a plan.
Okay.
For what he wants to do to make the passage to the other side a little easier for their father.
Okay.
I want to fall back to the very back where it's hard for the Irina and her brother to see me.
Okay.
And I want to attempt to sneakily cast Detect Evil and Good.
Okay. 30-foot sphere. I'm not gonna read it off again. Spell can penetrate most barriers, blocked by a foot of stone, inch of metal, 3 feet of wood or dirt. There is nothing inside of the sphere that is giving you any idea that there is anything untoward. And as you're thinking to yourself, it's fine, everything's fine, the screaming is just, it just continues going on.
Blood! I want your blood!
But nothing triggers your detect good or evil.
Yeah.
How long? Okay, so it stays up for 10 minutes. Okay. All right. You do see the priest, or a person in the chapel, and Irina and Ismark kind of look at you and look at the body and kind of, come on, let's go. So Hadrian and, all right, so you, Johnny, you said you wanted to be in the back. So Hadrian starts helping with the body. Everybody else helping move the body to the front.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, in the
Brendan
meantime,
also. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
just in the meantime, I'm also shooting looks to everybody like, you heard that, right? Like, I didn't want to think that I'm a crazy person. Like, we heard the creepy, scary voice, and everybody just sort of is, yes, we
Yeah.
understand, but we're getting through this. Okay. Right.
Definitely a returned look of what the hell is going on.
Hadrian leans over to Alaric and whispers, "Don't worry, cloud people can't hurt you. Not if they're not in the daylight, because the sunlight breaks up the clouds. You'll be okay. All they can do is yell."
As Brendan is walking through the hallway into the church proper, he takes out his holy symbol, which he normally keeps under his armor and all that, and lets it display visibly as the crest of the god of the dead.
Okay. Okay.
So he's actually flying colors, so to speak.
Okay.
And then he's going to approach. Brendan's going to approach the priest and ask if it would be appropriate if Brendan could give a sermon about death and transition to the next life.
Okay. Okay. So you enter. So you enter into the chapel. The chapel is a shambles with overturned and broken pews littering the dusty floor. Dozens of candles mounted in candlesticks and candelabras light every dusty corner in a fervent attempt to rid the chapel of shadows. At the far end of the church sits a claw-scarred altar, behind which kneels a priest in soiled vestments. Next to him hangs a long, thick rope that stretches up into the bell tower. And from underneath the floor, you hear a scream, "Father, let me feed."
I still can't. There's still nothing. Still no evil detected.
Not at the moment, no.
Oh my
There's probably
God.
enough stone and dirt under your feet that it's blocking.
Yeah. It's a thick basement.
Could be. Catacombs and all that. Not beyond possibility. So Brendan's going to come up to the priest, make the request, introduce himself, that he's a paladin, and if at all possible, he'd like to say a few words to assuage the grief of the bereaved and to help this soul pass into the afterlife.
Okay. You speak to the priest and he responds, Yes, child. Any assistance you can give would be greatly appreciated." His voice
Good.
is hoarse and weak. Brendan, give me a perception check.
All right. Yeah, I have toes.
Okay. All right, yeah. Okay.
Rolled a 2. So assuming that the priest is going to let me do this, I turn to face the body and all of the Johnny and Alaric and Hadrian and the siblings and all of that, and I'm going to preach for an hour. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to cast the ceremony spell.
Okay. Oh, that's long. You perform a special religious ceremony that is infused with magic. When you cast a spell, choose one of the following rites, the target of which must be within 10 feet of you throughout the casting.
The rite I'm going to use is the funeral rite.
Okay. You touch one corpse, and for the next 7 days, the target cannot become undead by any means short of a wish spell. Okay.
Yep.
Good to
So
know.
we're going to help ease him across to the afterlife.
Okay.
So, I'm going to, I'm preaching, I have to lay my hand on the body, but it's like just like a touch on the forehead
Mm-hmm.
as I'm preaching about how death is the natural end of life. It comes for us all. It's nothing to be afraid of.
Okay.
Probably slipping in some pointed commentary on the abomination that is the undead.
Okay.
Because I'm in Barovia and I'm fighting vampires, so why not?
All right.
But mostly it's a positive thing. It's emphasizing the natural progression of life into death.
Okay. So for the the casting time of ceremony is 1 hour. So
Yeah.
while Brendan is doing the funeral rite, Ajani, Alaric, is there anything you would like to do?
I would like to address I look around, do I see any other people other than the priest and our immediate party? Is there anybody else in this room?
No, there's nobody else. And it's very easy to make out because all of the pews have been destroyed and there is literally not a single shadow in the chapel with all the candles that are lit. I mean, this is quite literally one of the brightest rooms you've ever been in.
I really want to ask about the voice that's screaming, "Feed me, Father," underneath this, but with respect, I'm just sort of on edge, trying to back away in case anything comes up from the floorboards, but
Okay.
also having respect for the dead. So I'm just very observant, but not just ready for something, but not doing anything.
Okay.
For the remaining time that I have my spell up, so 10 minutes into the ritual, I want to kind of do that thing when you don't really know what to do, so you just kind of start looking at walls, even though they're all the same wall.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to comb every square foot of that room, trying to maybe ping something on the edge of that 30 feet.
Okay.
I just want to see if there's any way I can get it into that radius.
All right. So can you see where I moved your token? I think that's your token.
I can't see anything.
I see a black screen.
God dang it. All right, hold on a second.
Yeah, I can see the map on the Twitch stream, but if I go over to Roll20, it's just a big black box.
Great. Let me try moving you guys around for a minute to see if anything changes. And if not, I'm going to have to turn off. Still just a big black screen for you?
Yep.
Yes.
God damn it.
Sasquatch.
That's right. It's absolutely Sasquatch.
Right there in front of the camera. Blocking it out. There we go.
All right. All right. So, Ajani,
Yeah.
where you're standing now,
Mhm.
your spell pings. When you get to that point,
Oh boy.
and
Okay.
you sense undead.
Of course. Um, I want to just try to sneakily make eye contact with Alaric, and then just like try to like give a look that's like, and then just kind of like a slight nod in my head to like try to get her attention and get her to come over towards me.
Okay. So, are you going over
I-
towards him?
I am.
Okay. So, you get closer, and the screaming gets a little bit louder for you. Yeah.
Yikes.
So,
I will just try to whisper that I can sense a little undead within 30 feet of me. So something under our feet, or potentially above, probably below, is not correct.
Well, and there were those 4 doors when we entered.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I
Yeah.
want to split up, so
I know.
I'm just
I guess we just deal with it until he's done with his sermon about death.
I mean,
carry on, preach on.
I can't comment. I'm busy preaching.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Um,
But
I
I do
also-
kind of look at you and nod. Like, go. But I can't break the cadence of the spell or anything like that. So I can't talk, I can't react, I can just nod at you.
you look over and you see Hadrian is kind of walking around the priest, who is back to, I mean, you hear he's praying, not necessarily praying over the body, but he's back on his knees by the altar, which again has claw marks on it, and he's praying, and he's just rocking back and forth, and Hadrian's studying him and scribbling furiously in his notebook.
Oh gosh. I'm gonna try something else before we just split up potentially. While I'm still within 30 feet, I'm gonna drop the detect evil and good and try to detect poison and disease instead.
Okay. Okay. For the duration, you can sense the present and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases. Give me a second here. I have to check on a ruling for a moment.
Is vampirism a disease? Yes,
I was
no.
thinking the same thing. Is lycanthropy a disease?
Is
Lycanthropy absolutely is.
Sasquatchian a disease? That was Hadrian, by the way, because he would have asked. For the duration, you can sense the presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
You don't sense anything.
Okay. Oh boy. So that nod that you gave us, Brendan, was that a nod as in like I understand what's happening, or a nod as in go check it out?
It's a nod. I
Okay,
can't. I'm spellcasting, so I can't explain myself.
that's fair.
But
I-
it's basically a go nod.
I interpreted it as a go explore. So I look around since it's such a brightly lit room. I see if I can see any sort of holes in the floor, doorways, stairwells, anything that would lead down to what is below us to see if we could peer through or possibly go down. Do I see anything? Because I can canvas, I can sort of slowly walk along the perimeter to sort of examine that to see if I see anything in this particular room.
That's a great question. So you're walking around. Yeah, there's holes in the floor, like not big holes, but I mean the church has definitely seen better days. So yes, there are holes in the floor.
But nothing like a body could fit through.
Right, right.
But
Mm.
can I? So, what I'm trying to do is I'm angling to see. So, as I see these holes, I'm angling to see one, if I can see any movement, and two, if I can hear, like if the sound is closer or further away. Just we know
Okay.
something's down there.
Okay. Give me a perception check. Okay. Yeah, that's so there is very little light in the basement, for lack of a better term. You Man, you are just going to be the peeping tom of the party. I swear. This is the third thing you've tried to look into. Um, you don't see movement, but the sound is definitely clearer as you put your ear to the hole. It's definitely coming from under the floor. You also get a smell of decay, and I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
And that's the one in the middle, right? Let's see. Saving throws, yes, Constitution.
The smell just wafts up, and you've smelled dead bodies, right? I mean, you just spent the night in a house with a dead body, but this is different. And as soon as that smell hits your nose, you immediately start to vomit. I mean, it's bad. This is the worst decay you've ever smelled, and it causes you to vomit.
Not good.
And you look over, and the priest is ringing the bell, and he's looking right at you, and he's shaking his head, and he's mumbling something, but from where you are, you can't make out what he's saying.
So as I am projectile vomiting, and is this massive? Like, is this one large vomit, continual
mean,
spewing.
You've
I
got
mean,
you've got a child. I mean, you're vomiting because something was extremely gross. I mean, this isn't,
So-
I'm poisoned vomiting. This is,
okay.
and you're
Okay.
just wiping your mouth now.
Okay.
'Cause-
So as I reach into my bag to grab a rag to wipe
Mhm.
myself off, I sort of take one of those holy water vials and I pour it through the hole.
Okay.
Just
You hear the water hit the ground. Makes you believe that it takes about 12 to 15 feet from where you're standing before the water splashes on the ground, but you don't hear anything else. It sounds like water spilled on dirt and stone. The screaming doesn't stop, though. It's still going. And you look over at the priest, and he's just shaking his head and mumbling something.
okay. So while I clean myself up, and now I'm just I'm pissed, but I'm also leery. So now I have a mat on. I start inching my way towards one of the doorways that we came through.
Okay. So
And I
you're
look over
heading.
to Johnny to see if he gives me the okay, or he like sort of says no, come back here.
Okay,
But
so
I'm sort
you're
of
heading back this way.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, gosh, I don't want to like be so suspicious though. That's the thing.
Well, see, and I'm looking for quote a restroom or a somewhere where I can clean up because I have vomit all down the front of me. So I've made it very apparent that I'm trying to look for a place where I can clean up. So that's my excuse to sort of look around there. So
I'll like just kind of like pat myself down and like make it look as if I've forgotten something or something, and then like turn and start to walk away as if I'm going to retrieve something from the house that I forgot.
Okay.
And then I will join Alaric in whatever she plans on doing.
All right. And Hadrian is sitting, watching the two of you, but also watching Brendan and also watching the priest and muttering and scribbling in his notebook.
It's like,
Okay.
look, I know my charisma's 11, but the sermon's not that bad.
All right. So you have 4 doors. So
now are we just FYI, are we supposed to see what's in these doors on the
no,
map?
you're not.
Okay.
But for some reason, dynamic lighting wasn't working, which is probably has something to do with the same issue where Eric couldn't join and he actually had to launch the game. So I'm going to assume that Roll20's having some kind of an issue. So,
Well, I'm checking the doorknob of that first
okay.
room that I'm next to here.
Okay. All right. So, so you go. The door opens. You walk in. This dirty room contains a wooden bed with a straw-filled mattress. Next to the mattress rests a small table with an oil lamp that's burning brightly. Like this lamp is on. And mounted above the bed's headboard is a wooden sun-shaped holy symbol.
And as
So
I
this
look
entire-
around,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
as I look around, is there anything that would indicate a door or because I'm really trying to just look in these rooms see if there's a way down to the basement,
Okay.
and then if there's anything of use, and then like I'm looking for the restroom and it's not there and leaving. So as I take a glance, is there anything that
No, not in
catches
this
my
room.
eye?
This is a bedroom. Other than the fact that the lamp is lit and the holy symbol, nothing really catches your eye. It's a very sparsely decorated room.
And I look over to Johnny to see if he's checking the next room or if he's just following me or
I'll check the second room in the same hallway, or on the same side of the hallway, rather.
Okay. Okay. Let me see. This is an office. An old desk and chair stand against the south wall, a wooden holy symbol mounted above them, and the holy symbol is a sunburst. A 10-foot long iron rod attached to the north wall stands bare, suggesting that maybe a tapestry once hung there. Against the far wall stands a wooden cabinet with 4 tall doors.
I'm a man of God. I can't go rummaging through a church's cabinets. I'll check for anything that might lead to the basement. If there is anything, I'll move on.
Okay. An empty alms box rests on the seat of the chair. This is like a collection box. It is empty. The desk drawers contain a few sheets of blank parchment, along with a couple quills and pens, dried up jars of ink. For its size, the wooden cabinet contains very little. There's a tinder box, a few wooden boxes full of candles, and 2 well-used books: Hymns to the Dawn, a volume of chants to the Morning Lord, and The Blade of Truth, the uses of logic in the war against diabolical heresies as fraught by the Ulmist Inquisition. This strange book seems to mix logic exercises with lurid descriptions of fiend-worshipping cults. But no trapdoor.
If I wasn't on a time limit, I would stop and check it out, but we must figure out what this damn screaming is. So I feel like we continue down the hallway.
Okay. So the next door, we'll go with Alaric's side. You open it. It is a dirty, lightless room. Once your eyes adjust to the lack of light, which is very odd, considering how much light there is everywhere else. You see that there's a wooden bed with a straw-filled mattress, just like the previous bedroom, and mounted above the bed's headboard is a wooden holy symbol. It doesn't look like it's been used in a very long time.
Okay.
And on Ajani's side, you open up the door. Time and neglect have punched holes in the ceiling of this moldy room, which contains a few broken roof shingles amid puddles of water. In one corner, set into the floor, is a heavy wooden trapdoor held shut with a chain and a padlock. And as you open this door, the screams of a young man can be heard even louder than when you were in the chapel.
Looks like this is our room. Oh gosh. I'm gonna just. Can the priest see us from where he is?
He can, but he doesn't seem to be paying any attention to you. Irina and Ismark are on opposite sides of the Burgomaster's body next to Brendan, where he's doing his funeral rites, but nobody seems to be paying any attention to you.
I'm gonna slip into this room.
Okay.
I follow.
Okay.
And then you said the trapdoor is locked?
It's locked with a chain and padlock.
And we saw no keys in any of the rooms.
You did
that,
not.
That was nothing that we
Correct.
did not. And so I ask, so do we want to wait for backup or do we want to explore this without our team? I think he's almost done preaching. I mean, it's been like 45 minutes. Did we?
Yeah. I'm so curious, though. I feel like Ajani would be so confident in his ability to take care of any undead that I would want to try and figure out what's going on and see if there's any way I can solve it. But
Okay.
I also do not have the ability to pick locks, so...
I feel like that would be...
Has anyone ever... I feel like, did Hadrian
that was
try to
his...
pick a lock at some point?
Yeah, I think so.
Did I... What are my cantrips? Did I take message? I didn't. It's not a cleric.
Hadrian does not have lock picking like thieves' tools. He does not have thieves' tools.
He doesn't.
I feel like that would be something.
Did Brendan have thieves' tools?
Oh my God. I'm not answering for Brendan. He's got 15 minutes left in his
No. I'm trying to remember.
Coming to the climax of my preaching here.
Gosh. And it definitely, like, it's not just like fake lock, it's definitely lock.
Oh, it's a lock. I'm not even going to make you roll a perception check on that. It's a lock.
I do not.
Oh, goodness. Let's see, what do I got? Any spells that could help me with this? Advantage on strength checks? No. Oh, goodness. I could just try to hit it really hard.
Out of character, I've got a jeweler's kit, but no thieves' tools.
Maybe we
That's
should
what it
like
was. Yeah.
work on that. Maybe we should get one of those if they might come in handy. Oh goodness. I guess we just head back and maybe wait until he's done and then ask the priest or something. I don't have anything I can do about this.
Okay.
I want to take one more look in the dark room.
Okay.
Just because everything else was well lit and we sort of went through things just to see if there is a key underneath the pillow or...
Okay. Make an investigation check. Man, you don't even know that there's a pillow. It's very dark. It's really hard to find anything in that room. You stumble your way around, but you bang your shins on the bed multiple times. Oddly enough, your coordination has not been great since you've been to Barovia. First you fell in the mud, and now you keep banging your shins on the bed, but you don't find anything in this room.
He's probably got it. Do we think there could be a spare key? Because second level spell that casts locate object. Oh boy. Or we
Going
could
through
just
spell
wait.
slots like you're going out
I
of style.
know. I've got 5 left. It would have to be an object that's familiar to me. Oh boy. I haven't seen it, so I don't even think I could find it. Unless I could use the lock to find the key, but I don't think that's how that works. So I guess we just. It's not gonna make a ton of noise either, and like get attention to us by like trying to like bang it open. And all I have is a warhammer.
I have a
So
short sword. I could stick it in there and try.
does the lock look rusty and old, or does it look normal?
Make an investigation check. It looks like it's been there for a while. There is some surface rust, but this is a big, heavy iron padlock. It would take some doing to bust it. A short sword is, you get the feeling that a short sword is not going to have any impact on the lock, other than maybe making you down one short sword.
And
Fair.
I look around the door. Is there any of the wood looking like it would give way, or the hinges look weak? So like the padlock might be in place, but everything else, we kick it in.
Make an investigation check.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so you're looking at this trap door, right? And it is, the wood appears to be swollen. But I mean, you're looking at it, this is big, heavy oak. Like, it's swollen with moisture, but you don't think that you're gonna be able to just stand there and chip away at the wood.
You just knock the priest out and steal his keys. It's also kind of none of our business. Like, there could be a good reason. But at the same time, I don't like undead. I want to be able to either take care of it or heal it in some way.
Don't like undead hanging out there with the potential of getting loose.
All right, so about this time, while the two of you are studying this trap door, Brendan finishes his funeral rites, and the priest walks over to Brendan, and in a very hoarse and weak voice, he says, "Would you be willing to assist in the burial of the Burgomaster in the cemetery? I am but a frail old man, and I cannot dig as I once did." Hadrian immediately perks up at the word dig because it allows him to use his shovel, which is attached to his crossbow. So
I happily volunteer Hadrian for the actual digging of the grave,
okay.
along with the children, and I am going to go try to find out where Alaric and Johnny wandered off to.
Okay, so you go looking for the two of them.
Like, I know they went down the hallway. I could see them while I was preaching, but I don't know which door they went in.
So while you're looking for them, the Irina and Ismark accompany the priest and Hadrian outside. Hadrian is looking around, head on a swivel, making sure there's no Bigfoot, cloud people, or werewolves outside. Because he knows that although Bigfoot don't like the sun, they can still come out in the daytime. They become very blurry in the daytime, so they're a little harder to see. But he's looking, and he goes over, and the Burgomaster, having been there for a long time, his family has a plot at the graveyard, and Hadrian digs the grave. They bury the Burgomaster. As they do so, the priest says, Morning Lord, please watch over the soul of Kolyan Indirovich and deliver his soul from this cursed land. And then once the Burgomaster is fully buried, the priest turns to Hadrian and says, You should take her as far away from Castle Ravenloft as possible. You can take her to the Abbey of St. Markovia or to the fortified town of Wallaki, but get her as far away from the castle as you can. So at that point, we'll cut back to the three of you. Brendan, you find Ajani and Alaric in a room, and they're both kind of standing there like, okay, there's a trap door, and we really want to go down, but we really don't want to go down, but we really do want to go down.
Well, we really can't go down because we have no way to get in there.
So that's where the three of you are. You're in that little tiny room, damp, mildewy trapdoor. And what are the three of you doing?
I'll explain to Brendan that there's something undead underneath, and we're trying to get into the trapdoors. We can go down and look, but it's locked. And I'd like to try to break the lock, but it'd be very loud, and I don't want to draw unnecessary attention, especially if the priest is right in the other room.
Well, he's out back doing the burial. I've got a jeweler's kit, which includes a mallet and admittedly a very fine chisel. Now, it's not like a big ironsmithy chisel or anything like that, but what I could use it to try to break off the loop of the lock. Don't bother to pick it or anything like that. Just see if I could break the loop and get past the lock that way.
Okay.
Or I'd just try to smash you with a really big hammer if that doesn't work.
Give me a dexterity check with your proficiency bonus added to it. So I think your proficiency bonus should be 2. So give me a dexterity check and we'll add 2 to it. Okay, so 11.
Add 2 to that, so it's an 11. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't care how long it takes. I'm not worried about speed. I'm just worried about correctness.
Yeah. So the DC that I had in my head was 10, so that's enough. So yeah, it takes some time, right? This is a jeweler's chisel. It's generally used for soft woods, silver, gold, brass. This is iron, so it takes some time, but you do get through it. Your chisel gets a little dinged up, but you know that with a little bit of time, you can sharpen it back down to what it should be. But yeah, you get the lock and the chain off the door.
Okay, so I'm going to back away, get the spear and shield out, looking for something to come rushing through that trapdoor.
Okay.
And I'm like, Alaric or Johnny, one of the two of you, go ahead and open that door. I'm ready for anything that comes through.
How from the holes that we're peeking through, is it like pitch black down there?
Yes.
Okay, then I will grant these two dark vision.
Okay.
I believe they're both humans, so they can't even see.
Correct.
Yep.
Well,
So that's
you think Alaric is human.
yeah, presents as human. So you guys have 300 feet of dark vision
Okay.
for an hour.
Nice.
Okay.
And
So I'm just like spear at the ready, waiting for something to come rushing up through there. which is why I want one of these other two to
I'm
throw
pretty
the hatch
bulky. Yeah, I'll open the hatch and
Okay. Make
Yeah.
give me a strength check.
oh boy. Oh, that's pretty good.
Waiting for it to actually roll on my side.
Please do, because it was a natural 20.
Oh, that is pretty good.
Yeah, and now it's not going through.
There it
Oh, there you
is.
go.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you reach down and you summon all of your strength. You know, just to yank open this door, and you do. And immediately, as soon as that door opens up, the screaming stops. There is dead silence coming through the trapdoor.
Don't
Oh,
like
that's worse.
this.
That's infinitely worse.
But we didn't get bum rushed, correct?
You did not get bum rushed. Nothing came up. So you look down the hole, and what you see is a ladder, a wooden ladder, or wooden staircase that descends 15 feet into the undercroft of the church.
I will take point on this. Spear at the ready, shield at the ready. I'm going to head down the staircase.
Okay. The church's undercroft has rough hewn walls and a floor made of damp clay and earth. Rotting wooden pillars strain under the weight of the wooden ceiling. Candlelight from the chapel above slips through the cracks, allowing you to glimpse a gaunt shape in the far corner.
How far?
That's a good question. About 50 feet away.
Okay, so I went 15 feet down, so I have another 15 feet of movement.
Correct.
I'm going to advance on the
Okay.
creature, 15 feet heading directly towards it.
Okay. So you're about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 feet from. And I moved you guys to the appropriate spot on the map, which hopefully you can see. I don't know.
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
And I sort of lean over and ask if Johnny's sensing anything. Like, do you still have the spell going? Like, are you sensing
Oh, that spell.
Right now, that's long gone.
Organo? Okay.
Yeah, that spell has a duration of 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was
Yeah.
But
2
I would
hours.
assume that this is the because relative to the upstairs, this is that would be the corner that it started to ping, correct?
We're assuming it's evil, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
because that's where I started to feel that there was something undead, and now there is a body that is moving in the corner. So
All three of you give me a perception check.
Darp a darp.
All right, so not Brendan, but Alaric and Ajani, you hear whispered, "I can smell your blood."
oh boy.
However, it has made no attempt to move towards you.
Let's see.
This is scary. Oh boy, I don't even know what
Or
to
whatever it
try,
is.
what to do, what to anything.
That's okay. I have a plan.
Okay.
Do tell.
Yeah, would you like to fill us in on this?
Yeah, it's called Send It Back Screaming to Hell.
That's fair.
Vengeance Paladin hates undead. This is like all of Brendan's name days came at once.
I'm trying to figure out how clerics work.
Have you never played a cleric before?
I have not.
I'm just trying to get within 10 feet of this thing.
Okay. So you're gonna move up on it?
Assuming we're not at roll initiative stage yet, yes, I'm going to keep moving up on it.
Okay, you can get within 5 feet of it with your movement. If you take your full 30 feet movement.
I'm going to stay 10 feet back.
Okay, so we'll just say
I'm going
there.
to make him come to me.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Do you guys move with him?
Yeah.
I'm sort of going to try to get to a. I'm still not convinced that this person is evil just yet. This thing, this creature. So I'm trying to see if it's perhaps chained up, if it's in a cage, if it's injured, like something about it to indicate like it might be undead, it might be something else, but is it evil? Is it meaning us harm, or is it being tortured? I don't know.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure that out.
So you get close enough, you can see it is not restrained. It is huddling in the corner, doing its best to essentially disappear.
And what is the appearance? So looking at it, since we have dark vision, is it clothed? Is it naked? Is it dirty? Skinny? What is the general appearance?
So is there a picture?
I mean, the little thing looks like Steve-O from Jackass, but I mean...
You see that? That's what it looks like.
That just looks tormented. Person.
Does Brendan
Okay.
spot the dentation?
The what?
Does Brendan see the dentation, the fangs?
Oh, yeah.
All right, against his better judgment, he's going to try diplomancy.
Okay.
So he's still staying 10 feet out, and he's got the spear ready. He's like, he goes over and goes, "You, boy, what's your name?"
Doru. I am Doru.
"What happened to you, Doru? Why are you hiding in this basement?"
I must feed. I am so hungry.
When's the last time you fed?
Never.
Never. Who's keeping you here?
My father. Father will not allow me to feed.
And what is it that you're craving right now? Okay, that's it. Diplomancy time is over.
Okay. Brendan, you get one surprise round before we roll initiative.
Okay. Give me just a tick. Brendan is going to invoke his vow of enmity
Okay.
on the guy in the corner. As a bonus action, you can choose a creature you can see within 10 feet of you. Note the range. and gain advantage on attack rolls against it for 1 minute or until it drops to 0 HP or falls unconscious.
Okay. So, do me a favor and roll initiative.
Okay.
Well, so you cast your Vow of Enmity, and now everybody roll initiative, and we shall see what happens.
Finally, a good roll.
Right, and let me...
And I did try and click on my token, by the way, but
Well, it's, yeah, because you roll in D&D, or in, D&D Beyond, so let me pull him up. Where'd my screen go? Give me a second.
oh, the priest gonna be mad.
All right, so we have... It's down... Ajani...
He's a speedy little fuck, ain't he? That's okay. He charges me. I'm going to shut him down cold.
All right. So, feeling the, seeing you cast Vow of Enmity, Doru is going to, do the only thing he can, and he's going to lunge at Brendan.
Okay. As soon as he comes within 5 feet of me, Sentinel.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my reaction and take an attack on him.
Okay. You will need to. This is not a minion, so you will need to roll.
Understood.
Both. So.
And I have this at advantage, which I forgot, so I'll just roll it twice. We'll take the higher of the two.
Sounds good. All right. 22. 22 hits. I mean, 19 hit too, but 22 hits.
Okay, his speed drops to 0.
Okay. And
Minimum battle damage. 7
and
points.
7. All right. However, he is close enough to take his 2 attacks on you. So his first attack, he's going to do a claw attack.
Okay.
Does a 25 hit?
Sadly, yes.
Okay. So he does
AC of
8,
18.
he does 8 points of slashing damage. And he's then going to attempt to bite you. And a 13, so he does not bite.
Nope, bite misses.
Okay. It is now Ajani's turn.
Oh boy. He seems pretty bad. Did that attack that Brendan did seem to be quite hurtful, or just like he kind of shrugged it off?
I mean, it hurt.
I'm trying to decide how much to go, how hard to go. I'll just Sacred Flame.
Okay.
Oh, apparently it rolls damage too. So it's a dex save on him.
Okay. Rolled a 13. So he fails.
So he takes 5 points of radiant damage.
Okay. All right. Brendan, you are now up.
Okay. Let's see. I've got some fun I can do here. Bonus action, I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
I don't know why it rolled like that, but it did. And then as my standard action, I am going to attack.
Okay.
And I'm 4th level, not 5th, so this is the one I get. I'll remember to roll with advantage this time.
Okay.
Shitty rolls all around.
14 does not hit.
Okay.
So you go with your spear, and he swats it away. Alaric, you are up.
And no, I'm not going to take a move. So yes, Alaric, you're up.
Oh, sorry. I figured you'd probably stay close.
It's okay.
I get within 5 feet range.
Okay.
And I dip my my short sword, because a longbow, I'm too close, right? So my short sword, I dip that in a holy water vial.
Okay, so since you didn't prep with the holy water, that will be your action to use the holy water vial.
Okay.
Or you can just attack. It's up to you. But using the holy water will be an action.
Okay. I am then just going to attack.
Okay. Brendan, with your vow of enmity, does that give just you advantage or everybody?
It's just me.
Okay.
But I should also say... Hang on, I'm looking up the exact wording here. Nope. Okay, it's just giving me advantage on attack rolls against it.
Okay. All right, I just wanted to make sure before Alaric rolled.
No, I was double checking myself, so all good in the hood.
Okay. 23 hits. So go ahead and roll damage.
So that's the piercing there.
All right. So you stab with your short sword, and Doru cries out in pain. And as he does, he looks down and he touches his wound and licks the blood off of his finger, and you see the wounds start to close a little bit. And it is now Doru's turn, and he is going to take both of his attacks on... Alaric, are you staying where you are?
Yes.
Okay. He's going to take both of his attacks on Alaric. First with his claws. Does a 23 hit?
It does.
Okay. You take 8 points of slashing damage. And now he's going to bite at you. Does a 10 hit?
No.
Okay. So he misses. All right. And that is Doru's turn. So, Ajani, you are up.
After the regeneration kicks in, I'll realize that this is not going to be as easy as I thought, and I will once again use my holy symbol and touch it to the ground and cast Moonbeam directly on him.
Okay.
So I think that's a con save. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shit. I screwed up, but I'll have to remember this for next time. With Sentinel, When a creature within 5 feet of me makes an attack against a target that's not me, I can use my reaction to make a melee weapon attack against the attacking creature.
Okay, good to know.
So I screwed that up, but next time.
Okay. Nat 1 on the save. So no, he does not save. He gets a 4 on his Constitution saving throw.
He takes 6 radiant damage, and then at the start of his turn, he will also have to remake the save, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he'll make the save again.
Okay. All right.
I will also bonus action spiritual weapon.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I can't do that. It's another leveled spell. So bonus action, I will do nothing.
All right.
And pass the turn.
All right. Sounds good. Are you moving or staying where you are?
I will move square to my left.
And I think you guys should be able to move your tokens too. So, all right, Brendan, you are up.
All right, I still got a baddie in front of me, and I've got Hunter's Mark rolling on him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take the attack.
Okay.
Is Luke still not here?
Oh, that hits.
Oh, wait.
Okay, and just because we're gonna have a little fun, I'm gonna smite.
Okay.
So I only have first level spells, so I'm gonna burn my last first level spell slot
Okay.
and do an additional. I think it's because he's undead. Divine Smite, 2d8 extra radiant damage, 3d8 extra damage all in because he's undead.
Okay. So
2d8
you.
because of first level spell, 1d8 because he's undead.
Okay, and you don't forget your 1d6 for Hunter's Mark.
Correct. There's
So-
all kinds of pain train coming down.
Do some damage.
Really enjoying that option. There's Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
There's the smite.
Ooh, okay.
That's because he's undead.
Okay.
And I should roll the damage to the actual spear now.
Yeah, roll the spear.
Minimum battle damage.
Hey, yeah, but that minimum battle damage adds to the 18 that you rolled before that. So that's a total of 25 points of damage, which...
And a lot of that is radiant.
Yeah.
If it matters.
Oddly enough, and I'm surprised it doesn't, but it doesn't with Doru. So...
Like all that smite damage is radiant.
Okay.
Let's see. Get a better look at where I'm at here. I'm gonna stay right where I'm at,
Okay.
and I'm gonna pass my turn. I'm done.
Okay. All right, Alaric, you are up.
So I want to throw a vial of holy water at him.
Okay.
So can I use that as my attack or my...
You can. So give me just 1 second.
And of course I'm aiming for any open wounds I see or his mouth, whatever is open.
Well, I just
Any entry point.
poked a big honking hole in him, so hopefully you can get some holy water into that.
Go towards the honking hole.
All right, so do me a favor, roll a d20. You know what? Just make a dexterity check. So it'll be a d20 plus your dexterity modifier.
So
that'll be
is
your
that the one-
that'll be your attack with the...
So the dexterity at the top there?
Yes.
Fire in the hole.
Oh, yeah, that hit.
Yeah.
So it's 2d6 is the damage.
So, do I put R2d6 on there?
Slash
or-
R space 2d6.
No.
Other
Wrong slash.
Wrong slash.
Bear with me.
That's pretty
Should've paid
good.
for- Another 8 points. We'll take.
All right. So Doru, it splashes over him and it makes this hissing noise. And you see like little wisps of smoke coming out of the wounds. And he looks at you and hisses and reaches down, puts his finger in the wound and licks it. And you see this look of confusion on his face as the wounds do not close this time. And he scowls, assuming that it was Alaric who caused this. And he lunges, for flavor, he lunges at Alaric and is going to take both of his attacks. Brendan, are you using your...
Absolutely. I've still
Okay.
got my reaction.
Okay, so take your reaction first.
Oh boy.
Yep. And did I mention 100 mark is still up?
Hunter's mark is still up. Okay, 19 hits.
Okay. There's the spear. I'm incapable of rolling anything but a 1 for the spear.
Clearly. Okay,
And there's Hunter's mark. Maximum.
there you go. How long does Divine Smite just that round?
Divine Smite is a 1 and done.
Okay.
I mean,
Alright.
I can keep doing it as long as I have spell slots, but
Right.
I'm out. So
So you reach over and you just stab, and he coils. Unfortunately, it doesn't cause him to not attack, but there's a massive wound in his side right now. So he was going to take his claws attack on Alaric, and that's a 23 to hit. So you take 11 points of slashing damage. And apparently I'm incapable of hitting with bite. So,
I'll take it.
yeah, because bite is necrotic and it would reduce your maximum hit points.
Yeah, we don't want that.
All right. It is back to Ajani. Oh, and he's got to make that Constitution saving throw, which he should have done first. 17.
Yeah, it succeeds.
Okay, so he is not impacted by Moonbeam. Or does he take half damage?
Half.
Okay, so...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Moonbeam is half.
Let me scroll up.
It was 6.
So he'll take-
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so he'll take 3 points of damage. All right, Ajani, it is your turn.
Okay. This turn, I will summon the dual-bladed scimitar with spiritual weapon. So it's gonna roll to hit
Mhm.
with it. So 16 to hit, and if it does, it's 10 force damage.
16 hits. And again, it's not the visual that you would expect your weapon to take. It is skeletal in nature, but it does the damage. So Doru is looking pretty rough. So is that
That was my bonus action.
okay?
The action, I can use a cantrip, so I will Sacred Flame him. So it's a dexterity saving throw. If he fails, he takes 5 damage.
19.
He succeeds.
So is that half damage then?
No, Sacred Flame is used. If you succeed, you
Okay.
take none.
So he takes no damage from that. So is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
Brendan, you are up.
Oh, it's a me, Mario. Okay. Stab him with the pointy end.
Okay. You don't even, yeah, just roll to hit. Let's see if you hit. You absolutely hit. You don't have to roll damage, because even if you roll a 1, it's going to be enough. So how would you like to do this?
Brendan has been flicking out with the spear, like, hiding behind the shield and just kind of lunging out back behind the shield, lunging out back behind the shield. And this time around, when he comes out, he takes the spear and he lunges out, and it goes straight through his throat.
Okay.
And out the other side. And then when he pulls the spear head back, it rips his head off.
Okay. So as the head hits the ground, you see the fangs recede. And you see the man that once was. And you could swear that as the fangs recede, you could hear a hiss of thank you. And Doru...
Brendan kneels down behind next to Doru's severed head, kind of uses his fingers to close Doru's eyes, and wishes him, "May your journey to the other side be uneventful and swift."
Okay. All right. And
then kind of picks himself up and...
Okay. So yeah, what do you guys are out of combat? What would you like to do?
Is there anything else down here besides the corpse?
Make an investigation check.
Okay. So close to the nat 20.
Yeah.
But I have toes.
Yeah, I mean, it's dark. You have dark vision, but it's still, I mean, it's a very, very dark room, and there's not, like, you look around and you walk around a little bit, and you're pretty certain that you find like a little bit of vomit on the floor. Almost like somebody upstairs had vomited and it came through the cracks. But other than that, you really don't find anything in this room.
Okay. Then Brendan's going to head back up the staircase.
Okay.
And then once I'm up to the ground floor, I'm going to go find the priest.
Okay.
Assuming he's done with burial duties.
So you come back up. Does everybody come back up?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you all come back up. You make your way back into the chapel. Hadrian, the siblings, and the priest are there. And the priest turns and looks at you and says, "Is it finished? I don't hear him any longer."
Yeah, we took care of your little spawn problem in the basement.
Thank you. A year ago, Doru and some adventurers followed a mage to Castle Ravenloft. The only one who returned was Doru, and he did not come back as my son. Thank you for letting him rest.
I think
His
this
journey
calls,
to the... Go ahead, sorry.
I think this calls for a vibe check.
All right, make a vibe check. Yeah, he's telling the truth.
It's sad.
Doru, so without whispering, because that hurts. A little more than a year ago, the priest's 20-year-old son Doru and several other villagers stormed Castle Ravenloft in revolt. They were seemingly lured there by a wizard in black robes who came to Barovia from a faraway land. By all accounts, the wizard died by Strahd's hand. Unfortunately, so did the villagers and Doru. who returned to his father as a vampire spawn. The priest was able to trap his son in the church's undercroft before he had fed on any of the villagers, which is why he was not a full-fledged vampire.
Brendan's just kind of reach out, put a hand on the priest's shoulder, and just say, "From one father to another, I grieve with you. It's never easy to lose a child."
And he nods and touches your hand. His hand's clammy, but he did just, he's relatively insane. So, he's been listening to that screaming coming from underneath the church for over a year, day and night. All right. Is there anything else you guys would like to do?
Did the brother and sister take off, or are they still around?
No, they're in the room with you guys. They're in the chapel.
Okay, so I'm going to turn to them and say, were you able to inter your father?
Yes, thank you. Thanks to your, and this is Irina. I know my Irina and his Mark sound alike, but thanks to your odd little friend, we were able to inter our father. The hope is that with your funeral rites, he will not be part of the March of the Dead, and that he will find his peace far away from these cursed lands.
I can promise you that my Lord's hand shelters him, and he will not rise in any way for at least 1 week's time. Longer than that, I cannot promise, but I can do that much for you.
Okay. So Irina says, we can leave the village of Barovia. I will go with you. There are places that we can rest outside of the village. We can go to the Abbey of St. Markovia or the city of Wallaki. Either one would be a good place to prepare for our attack on Castle Ravenloft, to rid our home of the Van Zelovich blood and stain on our land.
Well, I agree he needs to go, but I think if we march up to his front door in the state that we're in right now, we're just going to come back with pointy teeth. So I think we need to get allies. We should find what friends we may have in this cursed land, yourself among them, and gather up everyone together. Build our might as much as we can before we even think about taking Strahdon directly.
Then we have a choice. The Abbey in Kresik or the town of Wallaki. That is your choice to make.
Brendan just kind of turns to a Johnny and says, "You and I are both men of the gods. I think the Abbey would probably be a good place to start."
Sounds good to me.
Okay. All right.
Lark, I know I'm going to regret asking this. Hadrian, what do you think?
Well, I believe that St. Markovia is the patron saint of Bigfoot hunters. So going there, I don't know if you know this, but if you rearrange the words in Markovia, you get Kovaran, and that is a Bigfoot hunter in Abyssal. So we should definitely make our way to the Abbey.
Alark?
Abbey it is.
Okay.
All right, then. Let's, how long will it take to get there? What kind of supplies do we need to lay in to make the journey?
So,
actually, why don't we talk about this further back in your house, rather than standing here in the poor man's church?
That sounds like a fantastic idea. We shall head home, rest for the evening as best we can, and we will set out tomorrow in the daylight. And you guys...
Sounds like a plan.
All right, you guys all head back to the Burgomaster's mansion. You prepare, you stay up, but there does not appear to be anything that happens tonight. The siblings are quite confused, as this is the first night for as long as they can remember that the mansion was not attacked, and Strahd and his minions did not come. No one's quite certain if it was because of the two of you the night before or something else, but it is a quiet night in the village of Barovia. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Okay.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in, for coming and hanging out. The video on demand will actually be up on YouTube in about 10 minutes, since we multi-stream and it's already live over there. I want to thank everybody for joining. On Thursday, I will be painting as usual. We're going to do everything we can to finish up the Primaris Librarian for Warfare Weekend. On Halloween, Mermeri Fiber Arts and I both actually took off, and we are going to stream horror games all day. So we're going to start, I don't know, 10 a.m.-ish. We're going to be playing Phasmophobia and the new Ghostbusters game. Those are all multiplayer cloud games, so if anybody wants to join us, we'll be streaming both on my channel and on hers. And we will be accepting donations towards our GoFundMe. So it's going to be kind of a subathon to help get our youngest out of the house that they're in and get them into a loving house here in Missouri. So yeah, we'll be streaming all day, and who knows. But yeah, Phasmophobia, and I can't remember the exact name of the Ghostbusters game. It's like Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. It is a 5-person co-op. The 5 people playing together get put into a lobby, and randomly one of them gets picked to be the ghost, and the other 4 are the Ghostbusters who have to survive. So yeah, it's actually a game that Nevin turned us on to, and he said it's a lot of fun. So we'll be doing that in Phasmophobia on Halloween. But thank you for joining, and I hope everybody has a very good night. Bye.